Good. Let's do this. Let's just do this. I
just did a really bad pun off screen.
I love you so much.
I am proud of myself. Hi, everyone, and welcome. It is Friday, which means it is time for Paint and Slay. And you are here with myself, Muse, and the lovely standing, not really above me, Lauren, for our first round of the Froghemoth mini that we got from WizKids Miniatures that we're going to be painting up over the next few episodes. And this brute is going to be a fun one to paint. And I'm sorry, I'm just still cracking up over the expression of just bleh. So the bleh Froghemoth is going to be our feature for our Froggy Fridays, as I decided we're going to dub it. But before we jump into getting color onto this behemoth, Lauren, I know you have some stuff you want to share with us today.
Yes. So, announcements. First off, welcome Desmond to Idle Champions. Welcome to the champion community. Yay! Black Dice Society is here.
Excited.
I'm super excited for that. So a couple things are happening next week that are super important. First off, if you haven't had a chance to buy Disco, the Baby Moonstone Dragon Familiar yet, there's still a couple days left that you can purchase this adorable baby familiar.
Face.
It's so adorable. All of the net proceeds for Disco sales through February 22nd will be donated to the Canadian Cancer Society. So that is Tuesday. So you basically have the weekend, especially since Monday is a holiday, which I'll get to in a moment. So if you have not bought this familiar yet for charity, absolutely go into your game. They should be available on all platforms. They are absolutely adorable.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Monday is a holiday in both America and in Canada, which means most of our streams will be off that day except for one. The premiere of Idle Champions presents Court of the Raven Queen.
Ooh.
Yeah. You do not have had to have watched Trials of Mount Tiamat. Oh, look. Hi. There I am. You do not have had to have watched the Trials of Mount Tiamat in order to jump into Court of the Raven Queen, but it will be dealing with the ramifications of that show because, hey, a family just got split up. We're going to go save that family. So yes, B. Dave is back as the DM for this 5-part series. We've got Erin M. Evans, who's will be playing not Havilar.
No.
Nah, she's playing Farida. There's Desmond there's DJ as Desmond.
There's Farida.
There's Farida in her epic boots.
Oh my God, I want that outfit. And there's you.
There's me.
There's you.
I get to join
I'm so
in
excited for
Yay! Why is Orkira covered in feathers? You'll find out on Monday.
Yeah,
here's Mark Mir as Baloth with the epic hair. Hey, if you've remembered to, and then I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. And then Sharif as Shaka. Shaka is back. Hopefully we'll also be helping him out too. Hopefully.
Because things kind of went down.
Yeah, both Shaka and Farida have issues with the Raven Queen that we need to get sorted out, and Orkira is there to help. If you have not yet, there's you should go to your game and vote in the game. I don't have my game up because we're streaming, but there's a vote that just went live. That you should go check out. Make sure you're voting every single day in game because that's how you get a token, and the tokens are how you redeem for prizes, like being able to get that awesome skin for Baloth. If you've voted at least 3 times and done 3 different things this week, you can pick up that skin for free, essentially for just logging in and playing the game and voting. All you get the fun stuff.
Good stuff.
You happen to be looking up what the vote was? Because I thought I saw you looking at things, but if not, that's
tried to, but my computer started getting angry, so
You know what?
Close
Don't worry about it. Hey, someone in chat, let us ask the chat. First off, hi chat, how you doing? Urban Bohemian is in chat.
Hi.
I hope you were here for us talking about disco. Your
Hey.
awesome baby Moonstone Dragon
oh my
familiar.
God, such a babe.
So hey, if you're in chat right now, I would love to know what's the vote that's going on right now. Tell us. And the absolutely wonderful Martin, who is our moderator and producer for this show, who is going to be grabbing any questions that come in from chat, either about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, or Froghemoths, or painting, or Kira with feathers, or discos. You know, disco stuff, any of that. We will answer all of those questions. Make sure you put question in big capital letters at the beginning of your question so that the amazing Martin can grab it. Thank you to Martin, who has also grabbed what the vote is right now. Which antagonist makes an unexpected appearance during the first episode, Vecna or Orcus?
That's the one.
Both of these are bad people.
They're bad. So much fun.
Bad.
That's the DM in me coming out. I'm like, but the fun of it.
Okay, Lauren is super excited. How does Orkira feel about it?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, that's a super good question. Orkira has not had a lot of direct experience with either Vecna or Orcus. So I'm gonna say Baloth has that very special one.
Yeah, Baloth has got a very interesting situation at hand, literally.
Is Orkira smart enough to know that this is a bad idea? No, she is not. Orkira would vote for Orcus.
Sweet bean. She's a sweet bean.
Yeah. Baloth, you really need to give that wand back to the person who owns it. I mean, he's just going to be following us all over the multiverse. So
exactly.
I think you vote for Orcus.
Yeah.
I love it too much. Sweet dragonborn baby is going to cause so much chaos. Okay. All right. That is enough of what's happening on Monday. So definitely Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific. Come check us out on this Twitch channel. It's going to be fun. Make sure you're voting every single day.
There you go.
And now it's Froghemoth Fridays.
Now Froggy Friday with this Froghemoth. So forgive the cat hair. I've had a cat basically harassing me all morning. So if you see a little fuzzy floating by, you can thank Hemingway. So this is from WizKids. Remember WizKids, D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures, they all come primed ahead of time. And I know that we've had this question pop up about priming miniatures and everything like that. And we're going to start looking into maybe trying to do something where we prime a miniature one time, because there are ways to prime minis that don't involve the spray. So that is something to keep in mind for a future mini, but this one, you don't have to prime. What you may find you do need to do, and it happens more often with the larger critters, is every so often you'll get like a really obvious mold line, not mold like what grows on bread, but mold as in from the thing that's used to create the shape. You might find you have a mold line popping out. So what you can always do is use an emery board type thing. And I actually recommend getting these. This is like all the stuff that's been buffed off. I recommend getting the kind that have like a few different options that you can use to kind of buff down that mold line if it's not too intense. If it's super intense, there are these mold line removers that you can get. Mine's from Citadel. And you just basically, and I'll show you on my own hand, you basically just run it along the surface of the miniature and lightly scrape away that raised little bit of plastic and primer, and it'll strip it away. More often than not, it'll be light enough if you don't go too ham. It'll be light enough where you don't have to go back in with fresh primer. But if it's something where you are seeing the plastic right underneath the primer, you may have to go in and put a little bit of primer down so that your paint will adhere well. So that's just something I always like to say with the larger minis, because that is a thing that can happen, and it can happen with the smaller ones too. But I find these big ones are definitely more obvious in terms of like, oop, there's a mold line, oop, there's a mold line. And that's okay. It's something that happens. If it's something where you're really not bugged by it, that's okay too, because there are people who like, right out of the package, let's just get painting. And that's fine by me as well. Unless you're starting to enter things into competitions, however you want to paint your mini is a-okay, is really the name of the game. As long as you're enjoying yourself, you're having fun, and you're happy with the end result, you're golden.
And I would imagine, like many of the things we've talked about, especially with painting, if we dive right in and then later it's like, oh, that's a really obvious, really mold line, you could probably still go on in and do what you talked about. You just have to repaint, right?
Yeah, just make sure you're doing it in a section where you haven't necessarily gone into paint colors that have been blended. So like if you've made your own custom paint and you try and go back to recreate it, that's where you can get some patchy results. But if it's like you're just taking it straight from the bottle, yeah, you can totally cycle back and do that. If you realize like, oh, I missed that one, that does not look good. That'll work. No questions about it. So we're going to do...
This is a big boy. How are we starting?
We starting with the recesses, because as you can see, our Froghemoth has some fantastic texture happening here. You will also notice, and I don't have my baking soda on hand, otherwise I would show you the trick here, but you'll notice sometimes with these minis, the joints, when they put the miniature together, it may be more gapped. Like mine is far more gapped than Lauren's is, and that happens sometimes. A really quick and easy, cheap trick, no pun intended, you go in and what you do is you would just put a thin layer of super glue. There we go. Super glue, liquid style, not gel. You know how I feel about gel at this point for those of you who are regulars. And then you would actually go in and sprinkle baking soda. And it creates this chemical reaction. It's actually something they use for nails too, when you get your nails did. So it's one of those things where you would sprinkle the baking soda in and it would actually fill in this seam line that's there. And you can go back to your emery board and like buff it down if you want to, but because of the texture that's on this Froghemoth, I would actually probably just leave that depending on how it looks. But that's a way you can fill in seam lines if you have that going on. Or you can take the green stuff like what we used for the beholder and where we created the jester cap and the nose and the ruffle. You can take green stuff and you can actually smoosh it into and use your thumbs to kind of just remove any excess. And that's another way to fill in the seams. So that's sort of, you know, quick little prep work if you wanted to do on this mini.
I started doing this just to show off the ruffles on the front of this thing, and now I've discovered this is how you put Froghemoth to sleep.
You're just petting it. Scritch its chin.
Right there,
just scritch its chin.
See, now it's totally docile for painting.
There you go. And for those of you who like to see scale, here is a standard mini, medium, and here's the Froghemoth. He's a big. It's big one.
Because you got to remember, these critters swallow other critters. So
like a soul.
It got be big. Yeah.
It got be big boy. So we're going to start off with using Beastie Brown. And I'm using the colors from the Vallejo game color line. You do not have to use the same colors. If you don't have these colors at home, you can play the home game of just using a nice warm medium brown for the Beastie Brown replacement. So we're going to go in with Beastie Brown, and what we're going to do, and you've kind of done this with me before, Lauren, in terms of we're going to go in and we're going to put Beastie Brown into the recessed areas. So we're just going to have fun like painting this all up. If you get up and over the edges, that's going to be okay. But I really want to enhance all this lovely texture ahead of time. And you'll see as we go through and add in our base color layers what that does. So we're going to go right to Beastie Brown. Shake your paints. If you don't shake your paints, you might have a pigment issue. If you're also having issues with shaking your paints and they're not mixing, just get ball bearings and pop them into your bottle, like 1 or 2, and it becomes like an agitator for you into your paint bottle. Just a fun little FYI trick. Or
also, if you want to join along with us and you want to know, because we're going to be obviously working on the Froghemoth for quite a while. Yeah. So if you want to join in with us, join our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. Yes, everybody take a drink. And you'll see that we have a channel called the Paint and Slay channel where we have pinned in that channel all of the information for the basic stuff you need. These paints, brushes, paper plates, and paper cups, and some other little bits and bobs, including specifically what mini we're going to be using. Yeah. There's not a lot that you need to buy. Everybody's ability to purchase stuff for fun like this is different, but we do try to keep it as simple and easy as possible. And for the most part, I will be using all of the same stuff that you'll see in that list of supplies, with a few exceptions, because I've been having fun getting some other stuff. I'll have to show up my paintbrush holder in a moment.
Lauren's phasing into an intermediate painter now.
Apparently. You know what? I just needed a thing to organize my brushes, and I got something that was awesome. I'll show it off later. Okay, so Beastie Brown and
Beastie Brown and the number 1 from the Mod Podge brush collection that we have recommended. And you're just going to go in with a Beastie Brown on your brush and literally just get this Beastie Brown put into the deep recess like this.
Oh, and no, we're not watering. We're not.
No need to thin it out.
Straight out.
Just straight. Well, the consistency of mine is like that maple syrup that I love to use as a reference. Mine is coming out like maple syrup as it is, so I don't need to thin mine. If yours is coming out more toothpastey or ketchupy, then yeah, you will want to thin it out a little bit. But for some reason, my Beastie Brown has always been like right from the bottle, okay to go.
All right. And with that, as we start to get into all these recesses, I'll grab a couple of questions
Yay.
from the chat. Thank you so much to Martin for grabbing these. Oh, we're going up the face.
Yeah.
Up.
Basically,
And,
like wherever you see a gnarly crease, definitely
round it up.
Yeah.
All right. And I see that you are not being precious about staying in those creases and in those lines.
No,
awesome.
Not in this case, because what these are going to turn into are shadows when you start putting the other base color on top of it and layering on top of the Beastie Brown. So you don't have to be as delicate as one would. However, I am realizing that, okay, so this is something that'll start happening as your brushes get to be downgrade quality. My bristles are starting to splay. So I know that this brush is about to head to terrain land. So I'm going to hop to a new brush, but you keep going.
I'll keep going. And Cassius335 wants to know what was the pun that you started the show, you pre-showed with. If you don't remember what it is, that's okay. I'll just move on with life.
I mean, I fully remember because I had fun with it.
It was a good pun. It was a good pun. It just, you punned me out of nowhere. I was pun-prized. It was sudden punnage.
Mm-hmm. It was you realized your door was left open and you got all flustered by it, and I said, "Oh, that's adorable." Is what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Doors.
This is what friends do behind the scenes.
Or in front of the camera.
Or in front of the camera, quite frankly.
Either way. And JDog2773 wants to know, how am I dealing with the Orkira nerf? It's not an Orkira nerf. I know there's an issue with Orkira right now that the devs are fixing, and then she will be fine and wonderful like normal. There you go. And apparently today's going to be one of those wonderful days where we're going to get a lot of people who are asking about who they should get for their time gate champions.
Ooh,
we are in between events. And so, if you do, the Discord is an excellent place to come to get information and suggestions from people, especially if you want to get more into the weeds about like, well, these are the champions I have and this is what I'm looking for. But if you're looking for some quick free advice, this chat is always a good place.
Yeah.
And so Kralin72 says, I have to choose between Shandy, Penelope, and Xander. That's a tough choice. I mean, you go Penelope. You always go Penelope.
I was going to say Penelope.
Although Shandy is an incredibly effective, especially as a sheet champion.
Yeah.
But Penelope always wins. How do you deny Penelope?
I mean, that's like instant friendship.
I know, right? Alias Buck says, who wouldn't want the Wand of Orcus? You get to shoot killer whales at people. I mean, the Wand of Orcus does a lot of really weird things.
It do.
And it is fairly evil. So, it depends on if you're willing to deal with the evil ramifications of an evil thing that are evil.
As I look at my Iron Hand of Orcus right now, I'm like, can't relate.
Not yet. I mean, not that the Iron Hand are also not super duper totally evil, but once again, if you're asking Orkira, she actually has not experienced the Wand of Orcus yet. And she doesn't have a lot of direct experience with Orcus. So that will be an interesting moment in everybody's lives.
I cannot. I'm kind of like the literal fly on the wall for these streams because I'm in the call and I'm sitting with my microphone muted, so I can't wait to just sit there and watch what you're all going to do.
Yeah. I mean, when Whittle had the Book of Vile Darkness, there was at least some. When she came back with that, we'd had some experience with that, and so I won't totally spoil what happened in Heroes of the Plains, but we managed to we had to deal with her having the Book of Vile Darkness, but it helped that we had experience with that. None of us have experienced the Wand of Orcus. We all know Orcus is not a nice person.
Not someone you want to invite over for the picnic, no.
No, but that isn't necessarily means that his wand is bad until we find out more. So that'll be an interesting moment in everybody's life.
Absolutely.
I'd be interested to know what everybody is voting for that vote, because that's a hard one, because there's no, like, I've had some pretty strong opinions about the last couple votes, and have unabashedly made pleas to people for which one to vote for multiple reasons. This is a hard one.
Yeah.
There's not a good, easy answer to that. This is a lose-lose situation. If either of these show up, we're in trouble.
Pretty much. I mean, that's sort of a given. It's like, nope, that's a done deal. Either way.
Yeah, but that's okay. That is, if it was an easy adventure, it wouldn't be fun. Lauren says. Or Kira would love an easy adventure.
Kira's like, when do I get my retirement?
Yes. Listen, she just went through a whole thing with the BFGs and where it's like, hey, one of my favorite experiences is the fact that we got to have a party and nothing bad happened.
Fair.
You know, that adventuring life, you know. So I haven't attacked the throat yet because
there's a lot going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, like everywhere else I'm seeing are ridges, are ruffles and ridges.
Ruffles have ridges.
But I feel like the whole throat I'm just going to end up turning into brown.
So what I'm looking at here are the ones where there's more linear details, not necessarily the pocked details.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps, but like see here in the middle of the throat, there's almost like these zigzagged hatch lines going back and forth. So those are what I'm going to work on bringing out.
Ah, okay. So the really, really deep grooves that have lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give those the moment in the spotlight, if you will.
That makes sense. Okay, because I'm looking at this whole thing and I'm like, well, if I had a wash right now, I'd just be washing the heck out of this.
And you could do that approach if you wanted to, like what we did with the green dragon.
Yeah.
That's definitely another viable option if you really want to make sure you're having fun bringing out more of these recessed details.
All right, so why have you chosen to go for the let's stick a bunch of brown in these ridges? Like, what is the advantage for you for this technique?
Just to show a different technique.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's super
variety.
Fair. That's super fair.
Just for the sake of variety.
Well, I could see if you don't have any washes, this would be an excellent technique in where you don't have to worry about having a wash.
Pretty much, yeah. Or if washes intimidate you, you're worried about like desaturating your color, things like that. Okay, don't do that. This was just snagging my finger and not letting go.
Let go, let go, let go.
It's like, I want to paint you. Don't fight me on this, sir. Or ma'am. I'm not sure.
We haven't figured out just yet.
No, we haven't.
And frogs are amphibians, and they are one of those animals that can change gender as dependent. So
yes, this is true.
Yeah, I guess it's going to depend on what name we decide to go with for these two.
I think I'll know.
We're still early in the process.
Yeah, I think I need to get more color in order to make that decision.
Yeah. No. Malkaver says Baloth already has the wand. He still has the opportunity to steal the other hand and eye of Vecna. I mean, yeah, but are we going after the Raven Queen or are we going after Baloth? I mean, I'd like to continue to be friends with Baloth.
Yep.
Baloth so far is just like, he's nice evil.
Yeah, he's charming evil.
He is the self-centered evil that you can still be friends with.
Mm-hmm. This is very true.
So
change angles here because the tongue is not playing nice with me.
Oh, so you're going for corners of mouth too.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, I didn't even think about those, but you're right.
Yep.
Now that I'm looking, ooh, that's a deeply recessed corner mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This froggy needs Botox. Let's see. Daydog2773 says first episode to be too early for Orcus with a boombox, right? I mean, no, it's never too early. No. If you all vote Orcus and then he shows up with a boombox,
I will die.
Well, now we're friends. Now Orkir is making friends with Orcus.
Mm-hmm.
Although it depends on what the song he's playing on the boombox is. I will caveat that.
I mean, isn't there that song? Raven Queen, what's it called?
It could be, but maybe that's the surprise. Maybe he holds the boombox up over his head and then it's like death metal.
Oh God, that'd be a riot. I mean, for him, that's on brand.
Exactly. The Lurking Writer says that they're on mobile for the time being.
Ooh.
I voted for Orcus for Champions of Lore reasons. Ahem, boombox. Okay. All right. Well, now I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah, I may have to make a little miniature boombox. That keeps getting brought up for reasons.
For Champions of Lore reasons.
Yeah.
I love Champions of Lore. Listen, I am also okay with us voting for Orcus for boombox reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally okay with that. Coffina says, I voted for Vecna mostly because of Arkan.
Okay.
All right. Except Arkan is not in the show.
No. But, I mean, if you're a fan of Arkan.
If you're a fan of Arkan, I can see that. Yeah.
Archon.
Oof, I'm bad about that. Archon.
Archon.
Yeah,
that's how I have to remember.
Our New Yorker comes in with Archon.
It do. Boy.
Yeah.
Boy, do it.
And Floydberg says, hi, I'm new to the game. Welcome. Welcome for joining us during Paint and Slay, where we're painting characters and creatures that you fight in the game. Their time gate has Catti-brie, Black Viper, and Baloth. Which do I pick? I think, all three are solid champions. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. And especially Catti-brie and Baloth, I think are going to be really useful. Yeah. Considering Baloth's, how much Baloth is being used. Actually, here's my suggestion. Because of Idle Champions Presents, that's going on Court of the Raven Queen, the first weekly thing that you can unlock once you have voted 3 times and taken those tokens and bought 3 things with those tokens in the first week, you will unlock Baloth and his special skin. So if you want to go ahead and do that in the Court of the Raven Queen votes in the video game, that will get you Baloth. If you don't currently own Catti-brie or Black Viper, I would go for one of those. If you have all 3, then I would go for Baloth, because Baloth right now you'll unlock and you'll get a chance to get a whole bunch of chests for. So I hope that makes sense, but like you have a chance to unlock Baloth without having to use a time gate and get a really cool skin. So make sure you are jumping into the game every day to participate in the voting, and then make sure you come by on Monday to see what happens with all of those votes. Lord.
I gotta remember to vote today. Whoops.
Yeah, once this is done, I gotta vote too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as I'm closing my OBS, I am clicking open my Steam account.
Yeah. But those of us who are streaming, unless we're streaming the game, we try not to have too many things running on our PC, and so
my PC gets feisty otherwise.
Yeah. And if you do have any other questions about the game in general, but about what's going on with Court of the Raven Queen and all of that, definitely stop by the Discord or just ask in chat. Everybody is super happy to help because, sometimes you're sitting here painting and it's good to have something to chat about. As you add frown lines onto your Froghemoth.
Yep.
The most frowniest of lines.
Surly expression.
I do feel like I'm just at the point where I'm adding wrinkles.
I mean,
just making this frog super old.
Not wrong. At least at this phase, it definitely it gives it like the old man makeup look.
Yeah. But hopefully good old man makeup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a Froghemoth, so.
Yeah, that's true.
That's debatable. I'm also gonna go in here on the I guess they're eye stalks, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of little ones.
Yeah. That you may find you're sort of giving it more brown than the other areas just because it's tighter, but it will make sense when it comes time to do the main base color.
Ooh, so many wrinkles. Oh, those eyes. You need so much Botox, my friend.
This moisturizing did not happen.
No, you are not moisturized at all.
No.
They are super cool looking, though.
They are. Have you ever fought one?
Yes, actually. A couple of times with a couple different characters.
Same.
I have yet to send them after any of my players, though. I haven't DM'd a Froghemoth, but I've definitely battled one. How about you?
Oh, yeah. I recently battled one, actually, in the... did a Tomb of Annihilation game that I'm in. It's a lovely game that is off. It is not live stream. Sorry, folks. This is my I'm going to have fun with a few friends game off stream. But yeah, we had an encounter with a Froghemoth in one of the temples. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And I play a life cleric. And,
Yes.
she got the perfect initiative at the end.
That was so. One of the earlier votes was the hey, what's the whoever gets the bonus thing for the week. We're gonna randomly roll, and somebody's gonna get a. It looks like double spells. I think is what was
Double
voted
spells
on.
or double dice, I want to
Yeah, they
say.
got so someone's gonna get double spells, but whoever gets that will also get a detriment. And the detriment was either there's a 50% chance that they will lose their action on a round of combat, which is super bad. Super duper bad, especially for characters that don't have a lot of bonus actions. Or they're just automatically the last in initiative. And I hardcore was asking people to vote for that one.
Yes.
Because you know what?
Reasons.
You know what? Orkira is last in initiative anyway. So if it ends up being me, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't make me lose my action. I want to be able to death ward people.
This is true.
Yeah. Death wards are important.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Comes in handy.
I like these creases that are in the tentacles that are like down
yes,
the
that's
back.
what I'm about to jump back into working on once I get around the keister zone.
Around the buttocks.
Or the Great Divide.
Or the Great Divide. Yeah.
That turn of phrase was also used in the past.
I feel like it's okay to say buttocks as long as you say it in a faux British accent.
Buttocks.
The buttocks.
I don't know why I'm like James Bonding at buttocks.
I'm trying to do more Sir David Attenborough.
Oh, there you go.
And here we are looking at the Froghemoth and his buttocks.
See, things you never thought you'd say on stream, but you are now.
Yeah, I mean, between streaming and D&D, I've just resigned myself to saying things. I mean, Sketching Hour has turned into watch Alexis and Michelle create awesome art while we force Lauren to say really weird things. That's just become what the show is.
I'm here for it. That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like suggestions for cute animals or very scary monsters. There's a lot of time that or they come up with names for creatures that are amalgams of all of the other names. And it's me just looking at this name that somebody has written up in chat going,
how do? How do?
All right, let me try. Oh, yes. J-Dog says there was a sluggish one by 53%, which is the one. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, chat. Thank you
chat
to everyone.
Has our back.
Yeah.
Chat is awesome.
I'm all of my love to the players of Idle Champions who continue to want to see Orkira not die.
Mood. Mood.
I mean, this is the first time I get to be in Idle Champions Presents. Don't make it be my last.
Oh.
No. Okay, so I'm now looking at the buttocks. Is that line down there? I think that's actually a seam.
That's a seam. That's a seam.
Okay.
It's also going to be really dang tricky to try and reach at that angle. This is what we're talking about right here, folks. And I'm poking a Froghemoth in the butt. Yay. So we'll just focus on base colors for the base.
What? I'm going to keep smiling at the camera because this whole thing makes me happy. It's going to be really hard to reach the butt.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure it can reach its own butt. We're having issues.
Okay, Alias Buck. She's not nerfed. There is an in-game small issue with Orkira that will be fixed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be okay. It's not a nerf. She's still a really good champion.
Yeah.
She did not get nerfed. But a nerf version of Orkira would be lovely. Not nerfed, just nerf.
Shooting out like fun little foam darts.
There you go. Fiery foam darts. Foam darts of healing. I'd do that.
I would pay to see that.
Oh,
for heaven's sakes.
All right. I see those suggestions for codes, chat, and I'm making a note.
Oh.
I will keep that in mind. It'll be
Oh.
fun. We'll see what we can do that's still PG-13.
Yes, we have to. I mean, I can't say polite, but we have to keep it
PG-13.
PG-13.
Yeah, we want everybody involved. Exactly. It's more fun that way too. Like coming up with fun words to use that make you giggle when you're talking about things like the buttocks are way more fun than being crude and rude. Like it is a sorry, I got more brown on the tentacle than I wanted, but that's okay.
That's okay. Again, this is like you don't have to be perfection coloring between the lines here.
Which is good as I am not.
Me either. I mean, I have like strays and flays and everything like that happening.
But I think
I'm getting there.
I'm running out of crevices. I don't really see anything.
I'm still working on these tentacles. How did you get those done so fast?
I'm apparently messy.
Just cause.
You remember that whole bit about me saying I got way more brown in there? It's because I just went
whoop. Okay, well that's fair. That's totally fair.
And now we see the difference between the professional and the amateur.
Oh, stop.
Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. I should learn to slow down, maybe use a smaller brush, and be more precise, and then I won't have a Froghemoth tentacle that looks like it just got out of a mud bath. It's okay.
But that's not a bad thing for a Froghemoth.
True. But just to have a little schmutz, you got a little bit of schmutz right
here. You're gonna clean it off. Yep. Just come here, honey. Come here, and I'm gonna, just.
There we go. Mom, I just ate someone.
Hold still. You got a little bit on the other side now. Let Mama get it. No, let me get on the. There we go.
I'm gonna take a bath later.
Okay, so we're gonna roll up some PCs that have this dynamic. Yes.
You're gonna be my mom?
Why not? Could you imagine? Well, apparently, one of my characters is one of Todd's characters' parents by adoption.
Yes, that's true. However, that was an entire team
that was so much
family
fun.
Members.
I loved that family.
If you don't know what we're talking about Dragons for Dinner, which was the D&D one-shot that I ran for Extra Life for a bunch of CNE people who are in the marketing team. It should be up on the Idle Champions YouTube. You can go watch. It was 3 hours of absolute ridiculousness. People could, you could donate to Extra Life at the time and affect the game. And the main way to affect the game was it would cause a roll on a table that I've been building for a very long time.
It's amazing.
It's essentially a random magic table, but it is specifically designed to be useful outside of combat. Because like the Wild Magic Surge table is mostly combat stuff and also things that will kill you. Yeah. And a lot of other stuff includes things that are outside of combat, like, hey, you set off a fireball or things like that. So I've crafted a table of 100 items that I'm constantly updating and changing around for specifically these kind of one-shots that let people roll on those tables and ridiculous things happen. And only 1 or 2 of them could be detrimental, and then they've got built-in safety measures. So, and in fact, Dylan rolled one of the 2 detrimental ones because he rolled a pull from the deck of many things.
It was still hilarious.
But in the table, it literally says if this is during a charity stream, once the card has been pulled, you can decide to pull another card if it's going to ruin the game, like if it's the Void card.
Oh, yes. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Void is bad.
That. We want to avoid the Void.
Yeah.
Please avoid the Void.
Let's see. We've got a couple more questions from chat. Manic Clown. It's offering me Birdsong, Black Viper, and Brig. Ooh, the 3 Bs. Ooh, so I guess it's Birdsong because I have the other 2. Yeah, that's usually a good rule of thumb is if it offers you, it does try to offer you champions you don't currently own. And so that would be always my suggestion. Go for the champion you don't currently have. Also, Birdsong is a really good DPS. Birdsong is my main DPS when I'm putting together Heroes of the Plains formation, and works really, really well for that, and is is just super fast. Super
So
fast.
fast.
Let's see. Zardonis says, any thoughts on Paulton or Binwin? Ooh. Both are good in different situations. I think, do you need Goldfind or DPS? If one of those two is more appealing to you, Paulton is excellent for Goldfind, Binwin is a great DPS. Or which of those slots do you have fewer champions?
Yeah.
Because especially as you continue to play and you unlock multi-party mode and you unlock the ability to go into some of the more difficult adventure variants and patron challenges, having a depth of champion field is really, really important. So if you're kind of back and forth between the two and you don't really need a DPS or a gold find in general, which bench slot do you have less people in? And grab the champion for that bench slot. Once again, your mileage may vary. This is just my opinion. You can always ask in chat or on the Discord. The Lurking Rider says, speaking of cute animals, did you get around to finding out what the Japanese pygmy flying squirrel looks like? Yes. Yes, I did. It's adorable. This is something from the sketching hour. Let's see.
See, I know what they look like because my little one loves finding cute animals, so I have been familiarized with that one ahead of time.
We have Rabbit TYD who says, first time turning in. Oh, thank you and welcome. Really love how chill this is to just listen to in the background. Well, thank you for taking a moment and jumping into chat and saying hi. I appreciate that. Yeah, we like to be a chill stream. Either we love it when people either join in with the painting, or hey, if you just want to listen along and see what we're doing and maybe join us later. Maybe you watch the video and join in afterwards, or just, listen and learn and enjoy.
Or laugh.
We tend to, it's a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. It's too late in the week to be super serious. Especially when you're painting butts. And just now I noticed a bit of this tentacle I missed, so I'm going to get in there again.
Yeah, these definitely are, I got to go off screen again.
I like it though, because like so much of these tentacles are smooth like you would expect, and so having these lines of like these creases are really kind of cool.
Yeah, it gives the eye something to work with.
Yeah, and it's just enough. Oh, and do we want to get the crease down the middle of the tongue, or because that's going to be a different
I was
color?
Debating that. If we do, I'm actually going to say let's flip to black to do that one.
Okay.
Instead of the brown, because the brown is light enough where the red that we're going to use is going to obliterate it. Like there's really no point. But if we do that with black, it'll be intense enough of a color where it will still play through underneath as the other paint dries on top. Helps put paint on the brush after you've rinsed it. Pro tip.
I'm tempted to do that because it's a big enough tongue.
Sure.
That having that
okay.
I think having that line is good, but that means that I do need to reach down and grab my black.
Black.
Excuse me for a second. I must.
She has to go down to the first floor.
Yep. Down here.
She'll be coming back up momentarily.
I'm crouching. Oh God, I'm too old to do that on a regular basis. Okay, I have my black.
Yay.
So should I do this now, or is this a later?
No, you can do it now.
Okay.
You can absolutely do it now.
So I'm using my desk in standing mode, and I only pulled out the paints that I thought we needed, and I missed the black, so I had to go and get the black, which is on the floor, and I had to crouch, and I'm old. So, but hey, now I've got a little bit of black.
There you go.
I see a red tongue, and I want to paint it black.
That's all I'll do. Promise.
Yep.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
Let's get.
Had
Get in there.
The fun situation last night where the stream that I am on, a live stream that you can see on Thursdays at Dawnbringers on Mini Terrain Domain, we're turned into children right now. So we're not playing our full PCs like they normally are at level 14. They've been decked down to level 3 now.
Oh, no.
So my little bard Cantrielle, she was singing a song and I realized, oh, this is fun. I'm singing my character as a childlike affectation. So when I was singing last night, I was like, but how do I make it kid sounding? So that was a fun little things you don't expect to have to think about.
Yeah. Did you manage to make it sound childlike without being creepy? Because every time
Yes.
I go for childlike, it ends up being like, oh, this is a horror movie now.
Yes, I raised it up into a higher register that I haven't sung in ages. So it was kind of like, well, late at night, higher pitch, sure.
There you go.
But yeah, it worked out. It was just one of those funny things. You're like, oh, I didn't even think about that factor when it's like, you know, little bard. How would little bard sing?
Yeah.
So it was fun though.
There we go. I have blacked the crease
Blacked
of
up
the
the tongue?
tongue. Yeah.
I am. See, every single time I think I'm getting there with this thing, I look and I'm like, no, I didn't get that part. And I didn't get that part.
Yeah, I've kind of been doing the same thing, which is I think one of the reasons I went to the tongue is I just needed
It was
I
there.
needed a break from the creases.
Yeah. And like here, the crease kind of goes funky. There it is. Where's the crease, yo?
Yeah, trying to
I'm not even
get
gonna try
around
this.
as they swoop and swirl has been a
Really?
challenge.
Yes. All right, I think that do pig, that do.
Yeah. Well, while you take a last look, I will do another time gate question
Yay.
from Atog. My time gate offers were Ishi, Black Viper, and Vi, not V.
Not me.
Also, I love that Black Viper has been coming up in a lot of these.
Yeah.
I picked Ishi as I unlocked Vi in the event. That is good. Also, Ishi, fantastic DPS, and also Kobold.
There you go.
And Kobold makes everything better. All right. What's next on this big boy?
I'm gonna try and get black out.
Oh, for the tongue.
Yes, so I can do the strip down the tongue, and then we'll actually work on painting the tongue.
Oh.
So you'll need bloody red and black.
Bloody red and black.
Bloody red.
I know.
Shake it, shake it, shake it.
Yeah, I shook these up before, but it's always good to double check.
You know, it never hurts because there have been times I've assumed, and I wish I had, because boy howdy, that was one color that came out as 4.
Oh, and thank you, Rengar. The Desmond Spotlight is now live on the website. So if you would like to learn all about Desmond, I wish I could do this like DJ does. Lycanthrope Ranger.
Lycanthrope.
I don't have his voice modulation stuff.
Neither do I.
I just have to go
Drop
into
it
this.
down really low.
Ooh, you.
Well, because I've heard it enough. I mean, Desmond's my boyfriend. I'm kidding.
It's my boyfriend, Desmond.
He's my boyfriend.
He's
Not
adorable.
anymore.
He's squishy. I mean, there's. You know what? I'm not going to get into Black Dice Society
Nope.
spoilers. If you haven't watched the show, you absolutely should. Oh, hey,
Twists and
DJs in
turns.
chat. Hey, listen.
Hey!
I hope we did your lycanthrope proud. None of us have that awesome voice modulator or your awesome voice. So basically, the
No.
both of us are like, it's
We're-
Desmond, the lycanthrope ranger.
Plus, we're just being a pair of goofballs, which tends to happen on Fridays.
I mean, there's that too. But the spotlight is up on
Check it
on the
Blog.
on our
The
website.
blog, the website, the thing.
Hopefully, Martin, our moderator, will put that link in chat, or you just go to the CNE website for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and you can read all about. I'll do it again, Desmond the Lycanthrope Ranger.
Lycanthrope.
Yeah, go read all about the
better stop
phases of
that.
the moon. When I learned so much about the phases of the moon writing that blog,
Right.
because I knew some things about
Mhm.
waxing and waning. I know way more now.
Absolutely.
Way
I
more
think it's
now
a great
about like
incorporation.
gibbing phases and all the
Gibbous,
intermediate
yeah,
phases.
yeah.
I didn't know
Wax,
anything.
wane, gibbous, all that loveliness.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm pretty happy with the recess details here.
Yeah, me too.
That'll work. And again, this is not something you have to be nice and neat about, because you'll see why later when we play the base color game. So now we're going to get into doing the gaping maw. Mwah.
All right.
So it's going to be bloody red, which is basically Vallejo Game Colors line of a classic red. All right. So I'm going to use bloody red. I'm going to mix it with a bit of black. So I'm going to take a pea size of bloody red, and then like a couscous size of black.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
I'm trying to think of good food references.
I mean, couscous is that's a good size.
A little.
Yep.
Bloop. And I'll mix the two together to get sort of a maroonish tone.
Okay.
Of a red.
I think I went way more than couscous, and I got to add more red back in.
There you go. I think I just did the same too because I assumed, which you should never do.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever, ever.
Yeah. I had a slightly more than pea size for my red, and so I went for slightly more than a couscous for my black. Okay, now I got
maroon. Yeah,
I got maroon.
I got to where I want it to be. So I'm actually going to stick with this number 0. Is this a 0? Yeah, it's a 0. And use that to paint inside the mouth, down the tongue, under the tongue. Don't forget. I mean, there's some significant mouth areas that need to be covered.
And I didn't pull out my 0, so I'm going to show off the ridiculous thing that I bought for just a couple of bucks on a digital place that you can buy physical goods. I bought a thing that I could put all of my paintbrushes in because I had a whole bunch from doing the paint nights, and we had bought a couple, and then I had the ones that we had bought for the stream, and I needed a place to put them all. And look at this. This is the best thing ever of all time. It rolls up. So now I have like a little rolly of paintbrushes, and it's my favorite thing ever of the last week. Anyway,
it's amazing.
0.
So yeah, I'm using the 0 to line around the gums, and then I'll hop back up to our bigger brush to go inside the mouth and jump back to the 0 for the finer detail areas, like where I need to be a little bit more careful.
Okay, that makes sense.
And don't worry about getting this on the teeth. Because let's face it, with a Froghemoth, if the teeth are looking a little bloodied, that's not exactly out of character.
To be honest, when have we done a creature that has a gaping maw
and
that hasn't been the case of like, oh yeah, it's okay if the teeth are a little bloody.
Yeah, this is true.
So basically, we're using the 0 to line the inside of the mouth to be more careful about where we're going to be doing green.
Exactly.
Okay. And then we'll just have bloody maw.
Exactly.
Bloody gaping maw.
Yeah. I mean, are you really playing D&D if you haven't heard gaping maw?
No. I think it's one of those rites of passage for DMs. For DMs to say and for players to have to experience.
Yeah.
There's quite a shelf on the outside rim of these teeth. Like, there's a lot of space between the teeth and like the outside of the lips.
Yep. A lot is happening here.
I also want to make sure that this Froghemoth doesn't look like he's wearing lipstick because that's... Yeah, well, that's less scary.
That's fair. That is fair.
If he wants to wear lipstick, that's fine, but I'm going for more of a scary
maybe.
Look. All right. And now trying to get the lower jaw. Ooh, geez. The moment we're going to have to turn this. Oh, and the tongue gets in the way. Darn you, tongue. Darn you, tongue.
That's why I'm working with the 0 first.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I like coloring in the lines.
Are we also, we have the brown that we used for the crease in the mouth. Is this the point in where we got to be careful of that too?
Yeah, you don't want to get, ouch, sorry, I just kicked something underneath my desk. You want to keep it so it basically doesn't go beyond here. Like, you don't want to take it into the jowl or the jaw connection point.
The jowls. The jowls of the Froghemoth. I'm back into David Attenborough.
Yep.
And now we look at the jowls of the Froghemoth.
Yes. I love
it's a bad David Attenborough, but it's fun.
Let's keep wandering these lovely paths.
That has become some of my favorite. It is the end of the day, and I just want to watch some short, silly internet videos. And every once in a while, David Attenborough and Blue Planet come
you
up, and I'm
go.
like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
I'll listen to him
I
talk
have to
about
go
ants.
out from underneath camera because camera is literally hitting my brush, and that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I'm doing your suggested thing, and I got to move back so that I could show it of like tucking elbows in and keeping everything nice and close for like the fine work. So I'm kind of like,
yeah, you got to steeple and like hug your ribs with your elbows, basically, and then kind of like praying.
Praying that this gaping maw does not devour me. There we go. So, I believe they fought a Froghemoth recently on a familiar quest. I think it was or something like that could grapple and swallow.
Always fun.
Yeah. All right, I think I got the outside of mine done.
There you go.
So now we move to the bigger brush and the inside.
Yeah. You want to hop to your number one or your whichever one is. I forgot my one is kind of janky right now, so let me just grab rando brush. Yeah, he'll work. You're comparable.
Yeah, you're close enough. Okay, we're just the entire maw.
Yes, even like inside, around the tongue, down the tongue.
Oh, this is the color we're using for the tongue too.
Oh, it's the whole shebang.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'll make this a little bit easier then, because I was worried I was gonna have to avoid the tongue, but I don't. I mean, listen, it's D&D and Peyton Slay. You say weird things. You say the weirdest
things. I know. That's why I'm chuckling.
Peyton Slay says the darndest things.
I really think it'd be hysterical to have someone who's like a zoologist background. So as we're talking about these creatures and trying to figure out certain body parts, they can guide us in the right direction sometimes.
There you go. They can help us come up with as accurate as you can be with fictional fantasy monsters that are, half made out of
roughly
magic.
Based. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Congratulations to DJ for unlocking Beastie with reward tokens. Yay! Hey. I'd be interested to know what some of your votes were for this last week.
Yes.
And if you voted for Orcus or Vecna to show up, because we had a pretty interesting discussion about that earlier, and that there's no right answers, but hey, I'd be interested to know who you voted for. For those of you who haven't voted yet, now is a very good time, because you will hopefully have enough reward tokens to then, all you have to do is spend those tokens that you've picked up every single day, and you will automatically, once you have done 3 of them, unlocked Beastie and Beastie's epic Shadowfell skin with
so cool.
It's super cool, and I really need to find out how he gets his hair to do that swoopy floaty thing.
Just,
magic.
Magical.
Magic. He's
magic.
I was hoping it was moose, but it's probably magic.
I mean, wait, what was that? When we were younger, there was that commercial where it's like someone was using moose and she was fantastic, and they had like the whole like jingle behind it. Oh, it was Finesse. It was Finesse, and it used the witchcraft song.
Oh, yeah.
Why do I remember this?
Because our brains are weird, and brains get filled with random things, especially from our childhood.
Yeah, this is not information that is necessary for me to survive. Why is it staying there?
Because brains are weird.
They are.
I still remember so many commercials from when I was young. Like, just having seen them so many times, because back in my day when we grew up, and you watched TV, you could not skip commercials, or you just had to watch all the commercials.
Yeah.
And especially local commercials that you would see again and again and again.
Oh boy, I forgot about that, right?
There's a very specific lawyer firm that if they were still totally in business, I could call them right now because I know their number. So yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyone from the the general New York area, both New York City and also Buffalo, will remember Celino and Barnes. They're all
yes.
I won't actually sing the jingle.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I haven't thought of that name pair in a long time.
Oh yes. Every once in a while, that jingle just gets into my brain. I'm like, why am I remembering this? Why? One of these people this is not a firm anymore. Like, but that's what happens when you're young is
Mm-hmm.
you see and hear the same things over and over again when you're impressionable and youth, and then it just stays in your brain forever.
Just lives there.
And it never goes away.
Well, it's like the Doublemint song is definitely it
Mhm.
should pay rent at this point. Okay.
Mhm. I
That
love how
and
you
the
said that, and
twins.
immediately I've got the Doublemint song in my head.
Double your
Oh,
flavor,
no.
double your pleasure, double your fun, right?
Mhm.
That's the statement of a great mint and Doublemint gum.
I mean, if you want to see how old everybody is, I can
Let's see who
see.
can-
I could
who's
just start
reacting.
saying things like, "Hey, I'm a Flintstone kid
10 million strong.
and growing." Mhm.
You could play this game with me. That's the sad part. I will sit here and I will just belt it out.
I feel like we should just play it with chat. Oh,
Get
we've
me to
got
sing
Celino
something.
and Barnes from Malcover there all over the TV. Yes, yes. I mean, that is a much more local.
I love it.
It's a you do have to be in a specific area of the country for that one.
Mhm.
Unlike say a lot of these songs that I know
True.
that are just stuck in everyone's brains. This is what happens when you when you're painting minis.
Yes. You start thinking of the most random little things. I had a little tiny hiccup. Let me fix.
The most surprising thing to me, both when I was young and even now, is how not only there are all these theme songs for commercials, and then there'd be sitcoms and TV shows all over the place.
Mhm.
They used to sell CD collections of
Right?
here's the TV commercial song collection volume 4.
Yep.
And you could get all of these songs. You could literally buy a CD filled with advertisement songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how weird is that? But that was a totally normal thing when we were young.
Yep. Now that's what I call
Super
music.
weird. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forgot what number they are up to because I guess they still put those out or something like that. But I heard now that's what I call music and the number following it. And I'm like, I'm old.
You figure at some point they would just stop making them numbered and just say the year.
Year would make the most sense, quite frankly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's ugh. Oh well. Hey, listen. People must be buying them or else they wouldn't keep putting them out.
Truth. Truth.
Oh yeah, Lurking Rider. Whose Lines It Anyway? Turn those into comedy gold. Absolutely. Whose Lines It Anyway? Both the British and the American
Are
versions.
fantastic.
Were excellent. Super fun shows.
Yeah.
With a lot of the same people, honestly. Although the American side, less British people, while the British side did have a bunch of Americans. So I know I'm missing spots on this tongue. I know I am. I just can't find them.
You're going to be spinning this thing around a couple times to make sure there is truly no way around that one.
Yeah, because I keep looking and I'm like, I think I've got it, and then I think something's just a wet part.
Yep, right there. Look.
And I'm
Spot right through here. I'm like, I don't know. And I can't reach it with the camera in front of my face, so...
Yeah, I was just finishing up getting inside of this barbed tongue. And getting in there is the way it's curled up, and that is... yes,
Curled
I
up
just
with a
did
how?
do that on camera. I don't care. It's surprisingly difficult to get into.
Yep. Yeah. Apparently I'm the Pepperidge Farm guy all of a sudden.
Aw, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yes.
That's less of a theme song and more of a just Pepperidge Farm remembers. That is something else I will never forget. Lauren remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I should look. I should put this down and look to see if we have any other questions.
Oh,
from chat
yes.
and
Let's see if they've fed us more theme songs or jingles to think of.
I'm sure they have.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think I need to let that dry for a second because I've lost the ability to tell the difference between a wet spot and a spot that hasn't been painted yet.
Valid.
So, Kevin Bolwer says, my Vallejo blood red always looks orange. Mixing black may help to get what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Do you often get paints that are supposed to be one color but can look another color even after being mixed up?
Yes, that is absolutely a thing that happens. Keep in mind, I mean, pigments are funny things. They can mix certain ways one day and completely different ways another. So I have gotten the same exact paint color code and everything. And the two have been slightly off of each other because, you're mixing a variety of different tones in to create this one particular color is the thing to keep in mind. So I'm not surprised to hear that your bloody red is showing up a little bit more orange because bloody red tends to hover closer to the warmer side of reds as opposed to the cooler side of reds. But yeah, if you put in just a little touch of black, it will help mute the tone to be either darker. If you want to cool it just a touch and not have it turn purple, you can experiment with just a little bit of blue to do that instead, to pull it away from the orange. But before you go and you put stuff on your minis, play around with that technique first. I would definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, it can happen where you have, oh, look, you've dried out. You can have your paints, they're supposed to be one color, but because, maybe you got a bottle that was mixed in 2021 and you just got the latest one that was mixed in 2022, sometimes things just get slightly skewed from each other. And that's, quite frankly, I'm not surprised by it. I've seen that with paints ever since I have been using paints. It's not unheard of at all.
Also, we should take a moment since we're at the halfway point. Yeah. So for those of you who are just joining us for the first time on the show, or maybe coming in from the game, hi, welcome to Paint and Slay. We're working on Froghemoths. Couple quick announcements. Remember that Disco the Baby Moonstone Dragon Familiar is still on sale. The net proceeds for all Disco sales through February 22nd will benefit the Canadian Cancer Society. So you have until Tuesday to get yourself the most adorable baby moonstone dragon familiar ever of all time.
Seriously.
Thank you, Brian Gray, Urban Bohemian, for helping us out with that. They are adorable, and yeah, it's amazing. And then if you've been listening to us talk about the Court of the Raven Queen happening on Monday, that is the first episode of our 5-part epic in where, hey, Frida and Havel are in trouble. We're going to go help them out. And Shaka. We're going to help the three of them out.
Yeah.
So join us on Monday. B. Dave Walters is once again the DM for this awesome, awesome game that I'm super excited to play in because these are all people that I've been excited to play with for a very long time. That's happening at 4 p.m. Pacific on Monday. Even though Monday is a holiday in America and in Canada and everything else is off that day, we will have episode 1 because you know what? By the end of the day, you're going to need something to sit and enjoy. Also, make sure that you've been voting every single day in the game so you can get your reward tokens, so you can get all sorts of fun stuff, not only to unlock fun stuff in the game just by logging in, but also so you can affect the live stream happening on Monday. For example, today you can vote to see whether Orcus or Vecna shows up, because both of those are bundles of joy and happiness. I'm saying Orcus. Actually, Lauren is saying both of those are a bad idea. Orkira, when asked, decided to go with Orcus because, Baloth, you've got his staff, and I think he wants it back.
Let's return it to the rightful owner. I love that mentality.
That's Orkira. We love our baby. She's a piece of work sometimes.
Bless.
She'll just have to death word everybody. Anyway, back to Froghemoth time. All right, and then here we go. Here we go with chat. The Toys R Us theme song.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Yep. Rye Guy Sandman mentions Baskin Robbins, which now I just need a whale cake.
I don't remember the Baskin Robbins one. I don't remember.
I'm not remembering the theme song, but I'm remembering the.
I remember the cakes. Yeah.
Yeah, the ice cream cakes. Malcover says, I forget which one of the two, but one of the Celino and Barnes guys last year had ads on billboards all around Buffalo. Yeah, basically, I'm 44 years old, and Celino and Barnes has been a part of my life, my entire life. Let's see. Desmond looks, H-Yog says, Desmond looks interesting, but why does he have to share a slot with Baloth? Oh, slot placement is so hard, but yeah, it kind of sucks when you get two awesome champions in one slot. But you know what? That's why multi-party mode can help, because you get to the point that you've got 2 parties going at the same time, or 3, and now you're going to be happy that you've got both Baloth and Desmond in the same slot, because you're going to send one on one adventure and one on another.
In this case, split the party.
Yep. A couple quick more. Kraylin72 says, I like the image that all toothy monsters occasionally have a dentist appointment. I mean, or don't, considering the toothy maw on this guy.
Right.
All right. Okay. So we've got We've got the tongue and the
Yes.
maw. What's
Yes.
next?
So now we're going to have fun and we're going to get the lower jaw. Well, kind of, how to explain this? So we're going to start painting under here and down the belly and basically sort of get the underbelly and the under tentacles painted up. Like you can see in the picture yoink, there. How there's that
lighter green
the
section.
lighter green. Yeah. So we're going to do that. But to do that, we're going to take goblin green. And we're going to mix a little bit of sun yellow. So what I'm using here is a color that it looks sort of like a classic army olive green, for those of you playing the non-brand name of paints, and then using sunny yellow, which is basically your classic canary bright yellow. So I'm going to mix, I'm going to play this by ear. So I'm going to mix more goblin green than I am to the sunny yellow in. So I'm going to say 5 parts goblin to 1 part sunny.
Okay, and probably a fair amount since this is
a
big boy.
Yeah,
and it's
so I just did
a
quarter size dollop.
Mm.
Quarter, a nice little quarter.
So like a quarter and a quarter of green and a dime of the yellow, maybe.
Pea of the yellow.
Pea of the yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Once again, we can always add more.
Exactly.
It's harder to take out, but you can always add more.
Well, I mean, you can add more. You just keep adding more is the problem.
Yeah. but it's hard to take out, so better
yes.
to start small and add more yellow as we go.
Precisely.
And we're looking kind of for that.
We're looking for a nice bright kiwi green. Ooh. So I'm actually going to add more of this.
I haven't had a kiwi in so long.
Neither have I.
Mm.
So apparently there are some out there who have their kiwis with the skin still on it.
Wait, what?
Like, I guess some people out there eat their kiwis like they eat an apple.
Oh, yeah. I have not done that myself, but I have heard of that.
I had not until recently, and I was like, you can what now? I'm such a texture person. I don't think I could. I think I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, that fuzzy texture, I should give it a try because I have heard enough people do that it's gotta taste okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, I would hope so.
People don't tend to do that just for the shock factor.
No. Okay, so I have a nice kiwi green happening here.
Yeah, I think I do too. All right.
And then I think I may have to cave and buy some new brushes soon because my brushes are all starting to play the splay game.
You know what? Actually, you showed this off before, but would you do this again? Because I kind of missed half of it. What are you seeing in your brushes that is an indication that it be time?
It be time where, are you the one that was one? Yeah. It be time when if you start, I'm going to have to do it with nebulation because it's dried. When you start putting paint on your brush, and if you go to paint and the brush starts doing this to you, splaying apart as you're painting, basically the bristles are starting to go and they're not holding the form. There are some ways of fixing it, but that's where you need to get things like, I'm going to try my brush soap trick this weekend to see if I can sort of revitalize this one and get it to go back into going to a point as opposed to playing the, hey, look, I'm having a bad hair day. Yeah. But that's basically what you want to keep an eye out for, is when it starts to splay and it's not being cohesive as a brush tip anymore.
Okay.
And
which one are we using for this green? I've forgotten.
For that one, you can do anywhere. Well, because we have to kind of line around the mouth, I am going to go for the smaller brush first, so the 0. Oh. And then I will jump up to another one. In this case, you could use your 1. You could use your 5 even.
Okay. So line the mouth first.
Yes.
Top and bottom, or just the bottom?
Just the bottom. We're not going to bring this up to the top because the top is going to be kind of like how we did with the green dragon. The top was a different green tone.
Okay.
So we're kind of getting the jowls in the underbelly. And what you're going to do is you're going to just paint this along like so. And you're not quite getting up to the upper lip. We're actually going to have that be a darker green.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay, all right. That's going to be a challenge to try to leave space.
And if you'd rather not, you can, if you want to, you can bring this up and higher at this point to have it go the lighter green.
Okay.
That is your painting prerogative.
If we're doing darker green on top of it, that's not so bad. Okay.
No, it really isn't.
Okay.
Come here, my darling.
Yeah. I got close. It's gonna be
Whatever is most comfortable for you, quite frankly.
And then get around this tongue.
Mm-hmm. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to thin my paint just a little bit more from maple syrup to be more like skim milk. Because with all of these, because I'm realizing now that I'm painting onto this texture, with all this texture that's living underneath the jaw and everything like that, it'll be easier to have a thinner paint because it'll help sink into the recesses a little bit more.
Okay.
So I'm just going to thin this out, like I said, to about skim milk.
Yeah, I'll add a little bit more water into mine.
Yeah.
This is the time when we're having the 2 water sources is helpful.
Yes.
Because because I don't know about you, but my the cup that I was using to clean off my brush is now super red.
Yes, that can happen. That's why you have your 2 different. You have one for rinsing, one for thinning. Always. Right.
Oh, Kralin72 is saying, at some point I'm going to need to read a guide on what's PG-13 and what's not. Yeah, I guess that is a term that we use here in America. I'm not sure. I know in Europe they've got the PEGI, but I don't think I only know like PEGI 18, and PEGI is not quite the same.
It's basically you get like one serious swear.
Yeah, but we even try to avoid that serious swear, to be honest. Yeah, you can look it up, but here's what I would say, especially if you're thinking about like American streams, when they talk about being PG or PG-13, they basically mean, hey, if a kid comes wandering in here, there's not going to be anything in here that we're going to have to worry about, whether it's language or violence or things like that. And every stream is a little different. And especially when you get into D&D streams, it can be very, very different. But yeah, that's basically what we mean, is we're mostly safe in case a non-adult starts watching.
Yeah. You know, basically if you have to worry about a kid playing the earmuff game around you, you're not PG-13.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I need to pull this out from under the camera because I cannot reach this with this camera in my face. It not happening.
And we got a couple more stuff that Martin pulled over from chat. Remember, if you do have any questions to pass along, either about Idle Champions or about painting or, anything else, go ahead and put question before your question in big capital letters so that Martin can grab it for us. Trontonian says that they voted for the Xanathar because it's funny to have the X show up. Yeah, that was for Shaka. Double dice to let melee characters in on the fun. Sluggish, which I super duper appreciate, thank you. And Orcus. Ooh, that is a collection and a half. So it sounds like 2 of those were ones that other people that ended up winning the vote. So the other 2 we'll have to see.
I'm curious to see,
Yeah. We don't know yet actually about Orcus, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I believe it was Xanathar that won. It was double spells instead of double dice, and it was sluggish. So you got 2 of the 3 so far, and then we'll have to see about today. Geekin Girl 84 says that they feel like chicken tonight. Like chicken tonight.
I feel like chicken tonight. Yep.
And then Rex Verity says chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
V is excellent at this game. Valendal says that they just realized this is a funky modern version of the Bob Ross show. Aww. Well, that is an incredibly kind compliment. If we are half as entertaining as Bob Ross, then we have won, and I will
take that.
Happy little Moz.
Yay. Happy little Moz. Happy geeping Moz.
And I think it is time for me to move to a larger brush now that I've moved down the maw. Because that's a lot. Did I just put my elbow into the paint?
Oh no.
Okay. Nope, I'm good.
I have been there, done that.
Yeah.
Especially with doing terrain.
I had to look. It felt like I did on my paper plate. It was just like, welp. My elbow's green now.
There.
I have to go to an orchestra. I have 2 orchestra rehearsals tonight, and the last thing I need is for my elbow to be green.
It's not easy being green.
Yeah. Although first I gotta go, so I have to show up very early to take a COVID test because we all have to be vaccinated and boosted, and then take a COVID test live on site before we can even go into the rehearsal. And I know there's going to be those 15 minutes waiting for the test to come back, and we're all just standing around looking at each other, hoping and waiting and watching.
Right.
And someone's going to ask me why my elbow is green.
Of course.
Someone's going to be like, so
what you doing?
What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Well, I dunked my elbow into a vat of green while I was taking care
Painting
of a
a
Froghemoth.
Froghemoth. And if they know what you're talking about, make a friend.
I mean, I have managed to get some orchestra people into D&D.
Yay!
Most orchestra people are at least moderately geeky in some way, shape, or form, but not every single one. So it's always interesting to try to convince people to try out the geeky pursuits. Absolutely. By showing off my elbow.
How'd you get into D&D? I saw Lauren's elbow. Can you imagine?
I don't have to imagine. I've gotten people into D&D because I've shown up places in D&D shirts.
Ta-da!
Hey, what's that for?
Well.
It was a fundraiser for a awesome LGBTQ plus place here in Seattle by the people who make Dungeons and Dragons.
Ta-da!
You'd be surprised how often people are just like, okay, tell me more about all these things.
I love it.
That was a lot of words you just said, and I like all of them. Please continue.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Okay, I feel like I might have made a mistake, but I'm unsure.
There are no mistakes.
There's only happy green
little
accidents.
Strays of green.
I think on this side I put the green in the correct place, although I went a little too far up over here. But on this side, I feel like I've gone too far up.
Little bit farther up than you need to, but we can always just go back over with the darker green.
Okay. And then you've moved on to the haunch, I see.
I have. So you can see this is why tracing out in the darker brown will help. So you're actually going to get some of this green here because this is also going to go under the tentacles. Oh. So there's this patch where you have a couple connection points happening with this green.
Okay.
All through here. And I'm actually going to slip down to my smaller brush to get in there. Because it's getting
this is going kind of all over the haunch and the leg as well.
It's not going on the rest of the haunch. I'm actually using that connection seam as my guidance line here to kind of camouflage it.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that. You may have gone too far. Well, again, we're going over with a darker green after, which will help. So not to worry.
I'm also going to do a little bit of adjusting here because I got very enthusiastic about this light green, and it's all over the
green.
It's all over the leg. There's just a lot. I got super excited about the green.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, but I'm just gonna wipe some of it off while I still can.
Okay.
There we go. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. All right.
You're good.
Back to
not
this.
back to black, back to green.
Back to green. Yeah, I need to just be a little more careful about watching where you're painting because I'm just like, green!
Well, we're still going to do green, but it's different tones of green. So yeah, I'm basically using the seam line, and that's going to be my division point for where I'm putting this kiwi green. So that little funky, this thing right here, I'm using that. So kiwi green is going to go there, and then I think that's going to help camouflage the green line, or the seam line. By having it look like where the two colors kind of meet. Okay,
so down the belly button and
down the belly,
but not on the leg.
Yeah, so down the belly, kind of along, I guess you'd call it the groin line between the leg and the belly, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like under the tentacles, but not on the tentacles.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. My over-enthusiasm got the better of me, but it's okay.
Enthusiasm is encouraged.
All the green.
Yeah.
Rayengar says, question, this looks like a couple of episode mini. That is totally correct. How many Froggy Fridays will there be? Excellent question.
I'm probably 3. Thinking 3. Looking at the time, and we haven't gotten to the base coat for the top yet. Yeah, we're probably looking at 3 ibbities.
And if we end up going a little bit longer, that's okay.
Yeah.
We like to. We'd rather have fun and go a little slower if we have to. But yeah, 3 sounds good. And then if there's a 4th, that's okay.
Yeah. Right now we're looking at 3 as company. Come and knock on our door.
We'll be waiting for you. That's another one. Another one right there. Yeah, Coffeena says new Idol Champion stream. Guess the commercial. Well, V would win. Hands down, V would win. I'd be pretty good. I'd be okay at it.
They just get stuck in my head.
That's what they're meant to do.
I know.
That's how you know.
Clearly on the target audience.
Listen, I joked earlier about how I was a Flintstones kid, and you immediately sang the song. I don't know if you know this, but that is a theme song written by Marty O'Donnell, who is the same person who wrote the Halo music.
Ooh.
So, I mean, some people are just really good at catching theme songs.
Fun little tidbit to know.
Yeah.
I like ye.
Let's see. Dan's J4B. If you're all just standing around together waiting for the COVID test to come back, if one person's positive, then you've all been exposing yourself to a positive person for 15 minutes. Well, they're going to have us spread out, and we're all going to be wearing masks, and we're supposed to have been being good before we show up. So if anybody, they're asking about the rehearsal. So it's not like we're all standing around in a clump. We're at the actual site, which in the lobby of the where the rehearsal is taking place is a pretty big space. So I don't know exactly how it's being set up, but the whole idea is there will be social distancing, and we'll all be they actually will have N95 masks on site for anybody who doesn't have one.
Excellent.
And we're all vaccinated and boosted and had to show our cards and everything. So there is an inherent little risk. But it's one of the reasons we got to show up super early and do all of that to try to make it as safe as possible. It is the price we have to pay to try to keep everyone safe and get to play in an orchestra again. So we'll see. But yeah, it is that will be one of the longest 15 minutes of my life, I think, is going to be standing there waiting for that test to come back. I feel great, and I've been, see this room? I've been in this room all week. So I'm hopeful I'm okay. Been in this room, playing that music, painting this mini.
I mean, how am I going to get to you?
What do you, I'm looking around at the butt.
On the tummy. The lower tummy area here. I'm trying to think of the best way to.
Oh yeah, I went for an upside down.
That's kind of what I'm doing here.
I went for a rear entry.
Okay.
That's what I went for. And it worked. Upside down, and then back. And there you go.
Red in the needle here.
Exactly. But I think because then you just want to get like just right under there. Yeah. We're not going further up the posterior.
Right. Where I'm basically just using that seam line. And I do think now that the color is getting on there, that's going to help kind of disguise it.
So I think.
Nope, hold on. I got to go from under camera because the camera is in my way.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I was over enthusiastic about where I put the green earlier, I think I got it in the places and in the spaces. So I think I'm good. I'm pretty sure I'll find somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. So as you can see, folks, it's basically just looking between the tentacles and the legs to see.
But I like the fact that we are doing the lighter green because you're right. The darker green will easily go over any of the bits that we mess up, and it won't be that good. Yeah. It won't be that bad. Sorry. It just won't. Everything will be fine.
It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
It's okay. So everything's okay. How are you?
We're fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so now I'm gonna hop to. Oh my God, that was not intended.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Really Cheers to that one.
So I'm going to shift to doing under the tentacles. And I'm thinking about here on this guy is where I'm going to start adding.
I'm kind of watching where you're going with this because I got so over enthusiastic.
So there's kind of like this little trailing off area in a fold that I'm going to use as the divide right there. You see it?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I get for my brown being a little more messy, is I don't have quite as many clean lines. But you're staying on kind of the underside of the tentacle?
Underside of the tentacle is where this is going to go.
All right.
The undercarriage.
I mean, I bet you there's a term for the underside of a tentacle. Or the top and bottom of a tentacle.
Yeah, it probably is just top and bottom of a tentacle. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe, but you never know. I mean, it's one of those.
Do we have a zoologist? Do we have a marine biologist?
I mean, there's tentacles in creatures in real life. I bet you octopus have a top and a bottom to their tentacles. So, is there a name for that?
Yes.
That's really the new. That's the new Idol Champions show. Is there a name for that?
Is there a name for that? Yep. What would we call it?
Learn something new every day about Garwar. He says, my original major was marine science. I quit that after 3 years, though. I mean, that's still 3 more years of marine science than I've had.
Same. So.
Garwar.
So.
What is the name for the bottom of a tentacle? Go. Here's the good news. You can tell us anything and we believe it.
Exactly. Like, oh, cool.
How far, while we're waiting for that expert answer from Garwar, how far down are we going? All the way down on the bottom?
All the way down on the underside of the tentacles, yes.
Okay.
All the way. Now I have that song stuck in my head.
Oh, and this is the part where we're going to have to be painting through the legs to get to the tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
This is where it gets to be an adventure.
What did you do today? Painted between a Froghemoth's tentacles, or legs for their tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, sure. Is that how your arm got green?
Yes.
All right, go inside for your rehearsal. Stop telling me about your Froghemoth and just get inside.
Promise I'm not contagious.
All right, and then I assume once we come out the other side with this tentacle, the other, the top and the bottom are, once again, that through line?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. You're gonna have to do a lot of twisting and turning and revisiting your origin points.
Yeah, but I think I got it. I think I got it.
I think you can.
And once again, I'm buoyed by the fact that if I'm wrong, it's darker green.
Exactly.
That's gonna cover it up, so it'll be okay.
Soon. Well, probably next week is where we'll get into doing the upper portion.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got about 20 minutes left before we have to stop because there is Garward's guide for that. There's Garward's guide for everything.
Stick around for that because that's a highly recommended viewing.
Yeah, and he's got a theme song now, thanks to Jason Charles Miller.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's fun.
I've got a guide for that. I know a guide for that. He's got a guide for that. Of course, it's Jason Charles Miller singing, which is way better than mine. That's one of the things I have to do today after this stream. I have a couple of meetings and I have a couple of other things to do, but one of those things is I have the videos from those 3 songs that Jason wrote. Mm-hmm. One was for Garwar, one was for the for Mars, and one was for Griddle Champions. All 3 now have theme songs written by the Bod himself, with also help from Jason, from Dylan Wilkes, and from chat. And I need to take those videos and add captions and put them up on the interwebs. All right. Let's go. Second tentacle.
You're fast. My goodness, I'm only on first.
You know what? It's green. I'm excited. Also, there's something about these smooth tentacles that are really not tactically. The tactile feeling of them is very appealing to paint.
Yes.
That was a
the glide.
Hard thing to say, but and also now it's taking me a moment to be like, okay, that's the back of this tentacle, but then it goes
loop-de-loop. Yeah.
Where does it go?
Yep. Follow the lines.
Oh geez. All right, here we go. I've made a decision and I'm sticking with it.
Bum, 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 bum.
I think this other tentacle is literally the opposite of the first tentacle.
Quite
That's going to be my
possibly.
guess. Well, like this first tentacle from the front, I went with the bottom comes up and in front.
Mhm.
And I think the second tentacle, the way I'm looking at it, it looks like it's the
Yes,
opposite.
you are correct. So yes, you're going to have it
Okay.
where it is the lighter green is going to show up on this side. This side is going to be the darker green.
Yeah.
So that's darker green.
This I got to
So you are correct, my dear.
I'm done it.
Ha ha! Victory is yours. Ugh. You a big boy. Or girl. I'm still not sure. I am undecided on name.
I mean, if Chad has any suggestions for names, we
Yes.
are entertaining Froghemoth names now. Please put. Suddenly I looked over and we have a hype train. I'm sorry. I totally missed the
hype a train.
Thank you to Kralin72 for gifting gift subs.
Shubs.
Thank you, Valendald, for gifting gift subs. So thank you to both of you. That is very,
Yes.
very kind. I hope those of you who got gift subs enjoy your emotes. I will say there are more emotes coming.
Ooh.
They are being worked on
Excited.
even as we speak, and I'm excited.
Yes.
But thank you for
Excited.
that. What a nice way to celebrate a Friday is with gift subs.
Absolutely. It's Froggy
And-
Friday.
It's Froggy Friday. Gift sub Froggy Friday. Oh, all right. Names are starting to come on
Oh,
in.
I love it.
Thank you once again to Martin for being an awesome moderator and grabbing stuff because I can't keep up and keep an eye on where this tentacle is supposed to be going at the same time. Every time I look down, it is a
There.
Mobius strip. It has moved to a different
Mhm,
location and I don't know where it's gone.
It likes to play.
Yeah. But okay. J-Dog has a suggestion for the vertical surface as the name for the bottom of the tentacles.
Okay.
And also they want to know, V, when are you going to make an appearance on Bardic Inspiration?
I've never been asked.
I mean, yeah, that'd be fun though.
It could be a lot of fun, absolutely.
We'll have to ask for a Paint and Slay theme song, and maybe
There
that's
you
when you can show
go.
up. That'd be fun. Oh, tentacle, why you
I
gotta
have
be
to
that
move
way?
out from under camera again. I'm so
That's
sorry.
okay.
How
That's
do I
okay.
reach this?
All right, I've got names. Oh,
Yay.
and there were bits. Thank you, Bayushi
Ooh.
Akira, for the bits. Okay. Seemed like a good idea. Okay, Nubbles suggests Jeremiah because he was a
Jeremiah
bullfrog.
was bullfrog.
He was a good friend of mine.
Yes.
Bill Big Mouth from Up for Lamb 113.
Mm-hmm.
Nom Nom suggests Frodo Baggins. Garwar says Shrub Gifts with a GHIFTS. Steel Wolf 171 says Gurmit.
Kermit.
Now we already have
We have Kermit and Kermie.
we do have Kermit and Kermie. I do like Gurmit though. That's kind of funny.
What about Gribbit?
Let's see. Rye Guy Sandman says I vote Fred.
Fred.
I like a nice straightforward
Mhm.
Fred.
Fair.
Let's
Feeling that one.
see. Oh, and Bayushi Akira also is gifting gift subs. Thank you. I
you.
appreciate that. Oh, Garwar's like, that wasn't a name suggestion. Well, guess what? It is now.
Too late.
I mean, I am a fan of Jeremiah because
Mhm.
because then we get to think about that song, which is just a fun song.
Joy to the world. Yep.
But
mhm.
what would be the corresponding name with Jeremiah though?
Oh, that's a good question.
Chat?
Chat? Do we pull from another song that has a similar vibe?
Well, and then Lurking Writer just came along and said Mr. Toad, which is also very appropriate.
It is, absolutely.
All right, that's what I've got for tentacles. I've got nah
You so fast.
and nah.
Well, what about the behind tentacles?
Oh, I haven't touched the behind yet.
Uh-huh. You touched the butt.
Yeah, now I have to once again figure out the Mobius strip of these tentacles. Okay. All right. Okay, that one maybe is
Getting
not so
there.
bad.
I am
Okay,
getting
actually the back ones don't seem to be so bad. The back
that's
ones
good.
seem to be very much the top is the top, the bottom is the bottom. Yeah.
Proceed.
That's proceed as normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Proceed
what
as
I'm
one would
going
anticipate.
with. One does anticipate the top being on the top and the bottom being on the bottom.
until the tentacle goes nope.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those things where it's obvious once I've painted it because
Yeah.
now there's a delineation.
Yes. It's also why I wanted to do the bottom first, so we had that out of the way, and it should make things easier for the proceeding. Not the previous. Previous would be your time traveling.
I mean, isn't this what this is? Aren't we time traveling right now?
You know, technically, I'm speaking to everyone from the future.
Yeah, you are. You are 3 hours ahead of us. How's the future, V?
Getting dark. No, wait, that's not what I meant.
Wow, everybody. hey, everyone. It's just getting dark. This stream just got dark.
Like
Please,
literally, the
please
sun
huddle
is
close.
setting dark.
Please huddle close. This just turned into a Survivor stream. This is now a horror stream. Yep, I know. That was just funny. It's getting dark.
It's getting dark.
You said it so cheerily.
It's just dark. It's getting dark.
Well, you've been on Black Dice Society, so you know how to.
Oh, I very
to
much
continue to joke and keep a brave face through the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, tentacle why?
Right?
Tentacle why?
I'm playing the spinny. Did I get it? Okay, I think I have. The two front tentacles are covered.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now we go to the bottoms. The behinds.
I'm just doing this with this tentacle. It's just I'm just
Right.
like circling, like trying to follow the tentacle. Ah,
Follow the
my eyes
lime
are
green road.
crossed.
Mine are too. I'm like getting like not eye fatigue, but it's like double vision almost.
This is why I keep having to look away from chat for extended periods of time because I'm like I have to finish this tentacle or else when I come back to it the whole thing's just going to be green and that's the end of it. Hey, Hype Train. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
We do. We really truly do. Thank you.
Kralin wants to know, Kralin72, technically, is there a chance for art show stuff as emotes? I mean, there's always a chance for stuff. Where I will say the emotes that we're working on, we're trying to make some that are very, and this is going to sound reductive, trying to make emotive emotes. We're trying to make more of the emotes that make sense to use in chat. And we've got some pretty good ideas on how to make that happen and be fun and still be C&E related and that whole thing. But yeah, we are working. I've already talked to one of the fabulous artists here at C&E, and we're starting to work through making a whole bevy of new emotes. I really like the feel of painting these smoother surfaces. I guess it's just, it just glides so nicely. And I know like all the crevices and details in these creatures are half the fun.
Right. But I get it.
Yeah.
There's a sense of completion to it.
It just feels really good. Except, of course, when I'm trying to get in an armpit and I'm like, in the armpit.
Armpitties.
Paint it. Okay, is it still an armpit if it's a tentacle?
A tentacle pit? What?
I don't know. That just sounds funny to me. I don't know why. I have no explanation for why tentacle pits. It's really funny. Tentacle pits.
Smells a little fishy.
Oh God, where does this tentacle go? What are you doing?
It keeps going.
No, it's how do you turn like that? I don't understand. Okay, all right, we'll do that. We'll do that. We're gonna have to compare Froghemoth by the end of this to make sure that I went in the correct side. We'll get to the end and be like, oh. That was
artistic choice.
Your tentacle turned in a way I was not expecting. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, now I'm just impressed by the flexibility of this thing.
You and me both. God.
Okay. All right. I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop.
stop.
We've got about 5 minutes before we have to stop.
I don't want to stop.
I know I don't want to stop either, but I also like Garwar, and his guide for that is coming up, and it's gonna be exciting. So
that's very fair.
I will save all of these suggestions for names. And since we are in the last couple of minutes, let me double check with everybody. If you would like to join us for future Peyton Slays, definitely come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. Yes, I will take a drink. The reason I say that is not only does it have a ton of important information, fun information on the game and a lot of people you can talk to. We have a Paint and Slay channel where all of the information you need in order to join us for any of these minis, if you would like to do that, are listed there, including paints, brushes, suggestions for like paper plates, paper cups. We keep it as simple as possible and try to keep the cost low and something that's fun. And chances are, once you buy the paints and the brushes, it's really just the mini that you're buying on a regular basis. Yep. And we also post pictures there of our minis. People who've been painting other minis post pictures of their minis, not just of ones that they've painted related to Paint and Slay. If you're watching us on YouTube, there is the whole YouTube, there's a whole playlist of all of the episodes on YouTube. So if you say are watching right now and you want to get caught up on previous Paint and Slays, they're all up on our YouTube, and I'll put that in chat. Make sure you check out in the game right now. Vote for the next thing to happen in Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen, which starts airing this Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you come back to the game every single day and vote, because not only does it affect the live stream, but every day you vote, you get a token, and you can use those tokens to get really, really cool things like Orkira chests. You should just buy. Buy that Orkira chest.
Yes,
I'm telling you. But more importantly, once you get 3 things from this week, you will unlock the Baloth Shadowfell skin, which is epic and awesome. You will also unlock Baloth. So if you haven't gotten Baloth yet, you get two awesome things for the price of 1. And finally, Disco the Baby Moonstone Dragon Familiar is still on sale. And if you
little Ponum.
He's so cute. He's so cute. And if you if you make that purchase before February 22nd, all the net proceeds from those sales will go to benefit the Canadian Cancer Society. So if you have the money to spend on a adorable familiar, might I suggest a Disco one? Yeah.
And looks so cute in game too. Can I just say?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
dear
just
Lord.
floats up and down. And the little beard.
Yes. It like floofs.
It floofs and it's funny, and then every once in a while, out of the corner of my eye, I look at it and I think the beard is a tongue, and that it's
Yep, a little blip.
It makes it even more adorable. It is
really
super fun.
So cute.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And stick around if you're watching this right now. Garwar's Guide to Everything is coming up right after us. I'm not sure what Garwar is going to be doing, but Garwar tends to do lots of questions and answers. And yeah, here we are back.
Yep.
Let's compare tentacles.
Compare the tentacoli.
All right. So that's what I got from the front.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We match.
Okay.
And then here's what I got from the back.
The back.
Yes.
We did it. Victory is ours.
We did it. Yay. So that's Froghemoth part 1.
It is.
So what's on the docket for next week for the Froghemoth?
So next week for the Froghemoth, what we're going to do is we're going to do, we're going to get the eyeballs going, and then we're going to do the upper layer. Ooh, as I hit my camera, the upper layer of our Froghemoth. And then probably, if it is dry enough, start getting into some dry brushing of the Froghemoth.
So lots more green.
There. Yeah, lots more green.
Are we going for Hypnotoad eyes? Ooh, I've thrown a curveball.
Good. We want Hypnotoad Froghemoths?
It does.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. In the official art,
they're like almost like goat eyes, right? Like the horizontal slit.
I think so. Yeah. But they're all green. But I mean, we could. I don't know. I'm open to either. What do you think, chat? In these last couple of moments that we have, are we hypnotoading up the eyes? Give me a quick yes or no in chat if you would like to see the Froghemoth
Behemoth, right?
Hypnotoad, or would you rather us stay true
Classic.
to the original art? All hail the
Spot.
Hypnotoad, says Willy
I
Wonknoby.
mean,
They want spiral pupils for the win. Docs Fraxon, all hail the Hypnotoad. I mean,
there is a way to do it.
it is all hail the Froghemoth. I'm seeing a lot of yes. I think
Okay.
we're hypnotoading our Froghemoth.
Okay, so then I'm gonna need you to get a hold of a paint Sharpie.
Okay.
That'll be the easiest way to do this.
Okay.
If we're gonna do spirals on these eyeballs, it'll be easy. A fine tip Sharpie paint, like a black one or a brown.
I think I'm going to have to find out more, and we will add that into
Yes.
the Discord list of stuff, and where
Yes.
it'll be an alternative if you
Mhm.
would like to make a Hypnotoad. Here's how. But with that, we
Absolutely.
gotta close out because
It's
we gotta
so
let
do.
Garwar get on. Thank you so much. Thank you, V. This is always so much fun.
Oh, I always enjoy our Fridays together. Our Froggy Fridays right now.
Yay! Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you,
Yes.
Martin, for being an amazing moderator. Thank you to everybody in chat, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.